Hey everybody, welcome back to the Planeswalker Coach channel. I'm your host Paladin Robin. Folks, today we are looking at the top 10 cards that are mythics for this particular set that we have here. This is the new set, obviously, and we're going through Tarkir Dragonstorm for you guys to kind of look through all of the cards and kind of get for you guys a sense of what are the best cards here. So that's what we're doing today. This is a video that's part of a bigger series where we're taking a look at all of the different rarities and putting together kind of a compilation, a list of what I think are the best cards, the top 10 cards of that rarity. So this video is the top 10 mythics of this new set, Tarkir Dragonstorm. So coming out in no particular order, let's get started. Here's the first one, Death Begets Life for 17. It's a spell card. Destroy all creatures and enchantment support, then gain X mana. X is the number of cards destroyed this way, including their reinforcements. So really, this is a nice card to reset the board. It's not going to reset everything because it doesn't destroy all cards. But really, what you can do is have a ton of token creatures, a lot of token supports that have that enchantment. And I'm thinking, of course, about the rat swarms. Then what you do is you pop this thing. It's gonna destroy your stuff and your opponent's stuff, and you know what, that's gonna kind of help to provide that reset sometimes that we need when we're playing some really serious matches. It's gonna be a nice reset that also fills your hand with some mana. That's gonna help you to really just turn the tide of the battle in some very good games. And you know, this is a really good card for those higher level matches where your opponents are real strong, but you need to kind of stop their onslaught and then counter with some good defense that pushes into offense. And really, that's what this card does. So really cool card. Here's the next one, Dracogenesis for 16. It's an enchantment. When you draw a dragon card, that card costs 0 to cast till the end of turn. This is a nice one. Obviously, what I'm going to try to do is maximize this ability by drawing a ton of cards, because if you can draw a ton of cards and maybe you have a deck that's got 4 dragons, something like that, if you got 4 dragons in a deck and you're drawing cards, maybe 3-4 cards every turn, you're going to be loading up on free dragons. That's super cool. I like this one with maybe planeswalkers like Sarkhan 1. Sarkhan 1 is a really good planeswalker that's just super dominant when you have dragons, and I think there's going to be a theme obviously with this set. You're going to have a lot of good dragons, and I think a lot of players are going to buy that Sarkhan 1, the black and red one, and then you'll see them probably using this, probably using dragons. That third ability with Sarkhan 1 is just completely devastating if you can set it up correctly. So pay attention to this channel. I'm going to start to do some of those things as soon as I get some of these dragons that I like. Anyway, good card here. Okay, here is the next one. Thunder of Unity. Interesting card here. Saga, obviously, for 14. The first part of the saga is discard your hand, then draw 4 cards. Kind of pairs nicely with the card I just showed you. The second one is your opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life. And the third one is your opponent loses 10 life and you gain 10 life once again. So what I'm thinking with this, and I kind of don't want to spoil the combo, but there are cards that have proliferate, and proliferate, if you can hit that with this, it will change the saga chapter to the third chapter, well, to the next chapter. And if it's on the third chapter, it will repeat the third chapter again. And without spoiling the combos, because you'll see it here on this channel, there are some really good combos that will hit this third ability, then hit it again, then hit it again, then hit it again, and then again and again in an infinite number of times using that proliferate ability. And if you can do that, obviously if you hit this, your opponent's going to lose 10 life. They're going to lose 10 life again next time you hit it, and then again and again and again, and basically you're going to win the game just hitting this combo. Alright, so stay tuned to the channel. You're going to see those coming out hopefully soon. Kind of depends on how long it takes me to pull some of those cards. Some of them I already have. We'll get those to you as soon as we can. Let's take a look at the next card. All Out Assault for 18. It's an enchantment card. When this support enters the board, creatures you control gain double strike until the end of turn. At the beginning of your turn, your creatures get +4, +2, and gain Death Touch until the end of your turn. So this one I think is a very good card. I like this one a lot. You know, if you get that double strike, that's just super awesome. Get twice the amount of damage that you normally would get. It says here creatures with an S, so that basically means all your creatures, so that gives added value here. And at the beginning of your turn until the end of your turn, you get a nice buff with some Death Touch. So that's going to be really cool, especially if you have cards that have like Berserker. Your opponent is going to be pretty much having a hard time placing creatures out and keeping them out, because that Berserker ability will cause your creatures to attack their creatures. Death Touch here will make sure you kill stuff, and then you got the double strike, so that double strike is going to help you make sure you get that damage before you take any damage. So really cool, excellent card. Okay, here's the next one, Awaken the Honored Dead. This is a really interesting card. I like this one here. Destroy an opposing non-land support is the first one for this saga. Second one for this saga is destroy the top 10 cards of your library. And the third and final chapter of this saga is return up to the first 2 creature or land cards from your graveyard to play under your control. So this one I think again is going to be really good, and I mentioned it earlier, I don't want to tell you about the combo, but I'm going to tell you about the combo, but I'm not going to tell you about the particular cards in the combo. You got to pay attention to the channel. I'll put out some of that shortly. But this one, with Proliferate, you can hit this again and again and again and again in one single turn, and that's going to help you to just really light your opponent up. It's going to help you to win some games there. So, very cool. Stay tuned to the channel, and we'll get you guys those combos, those deck videos out as soon as we can. But really good card here. Really the only thing is you got to make sure you have a lot of stuff in your graveyard. Obviously there's cards that can help you do that, but stay tuned and we'll kind of flesh out some of those for you. Here's the next one, Ureni the Song Unending. It's a 10/10 Spirit Dragon for 22. When this creature enters the battlefield, deal X damage to your opponent's creatures and Planeswalker. X is the number of cards you control, including their reinforcements. So of course you're going to want to play this with cards that you can put out a multitude of. And I'm thinking of obviously tokens. Token supports are good too here. And I think this is a really good one, especially because you got the 10 for its power, and that's kind of cool. As I mentioned with Sarkhan, Sarkhan's third ability is just so awesome. Of course, we're talking about Sarkhan 1, the black and red one. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. This one is just incredible because you're going to be able to have a creature when you use Sarkhan's third ability, you're going to just wreck people. This is a good game ending kind of card. I'd even throw maybe double strike with this thing, and then yeah, it's over. Very cool card. Here's the next one, Inevitable Defeat for 18. Exile a random opposing creature, exile a random opposing artifact, exile a random opposing enchantment, exile a random opposing vanguard, and exile a random opposing land. Interesting card here. I think this one is going to be one that we see a lot of. I think we've seen some cards that are just excellent at destroying tons of your opponent's stuff. This one obviously is going to be added to that list. It's an interesting one because you kind of just really just wreck your opponent. All of these things will just be destroyed. And you know what? You play a couple of these, or maybe keep one in your hand for when they play something, then yeah, this is going to be a very serious card to contend with. Okay, here's the next one, guys. Roar of Endless Song. It's another enchantment saga for 18. The first chapter here is to create 2 elephant tokens. These are the elephants, 3/3, kind of a nice one there. You'll get 2. Here is chapter 2, create 2 more of those elephant tokens. Again, same elephant, kind of a nice thing. They'll start to stack there. And 3, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until the end of turn. Obviously, this is one that I'm going to want to hit multiple times in a turn. Once that's got itself going, that's going to be really, really good. Guys, this is a game winner if you can put it together. All right, very cool. Okay, here's number 9 on this video. Rot Curse Rakshasa. Interesting one here, you get a 5/5 demon for 10. When this creature attacks, opposing creatures gain imminent death. Restore 3, your first creature gets +5/+5 and gains trample. Then the first opposing creature gains decay. So this is a good one. Obviously, you got that imminent death that your opposing creatures will have. Creatures, again, with an S, that basically means all of your opponent's creatures. And if they don't have maybe tokens, then what you're going to see is you're going to just destroy their creatures pretty quickly. If they have reinforcements on their creatures, it's going to take a little longer. But you know what? This is excellent still, just to kind of get your opponent off the board. Restore 3. Restore is one of the interesting new abilities that you'll see. I'll click on it here and you can kind of see what it does. When this card is put into the graveyard and at the beginning of your turn, if this card is in your graveyard, activate X random gems, where X is this card's restore value. When you destroy one of the activated gems, if you control a creature, resolve this card's restore effect, and this card will be exiled. So interestingly enough, this is going to be one that you're going to be able to use multiple times if you can get this one into the graveyard. Obviously, what I would like to do is play this with Gather the Pack. Gather the Pack is a nice one because you'll be able to put 1 or maybe 2 of this into your hand, and then you'll throw a bunch into the graveyard, which will get you the restore gems, those activate gems on the board. And all you got to do is pop 1 and then you get this, as long as you have a creature, obviously. So that's really cool. I really look forward to putting decks together with this restore and the Gather the Pack card. Obviously, you just throw a ton of those into the graveyard and then you'll be able to just light up your opponent just really well with this one here. Okay, the last one for this video. This is Kotis Fangkeeper for 18. It's a zombie warrior. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, exile the top 4 cards of each player's library. Then your creatures get +4/+4. That's a permanent buff. When this creature dies, return the first support card from your exile to play under your control. Okay, so some interesting things here. I definitely want to point out that you have this kind of a nice ability. When this creature deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, you can exile some cards and get a buff for your creatures. That's really nice. Obviously, this here, prevent damage, is awesome. You know, whenever I see prevent damage, I always think give this one reach, right? You give this one reach, plus the prevent damage, you'll be blocking everything, not taking any damage for this creature. And that's kind of a nice way to make sure that you play some good defense. And it doesn't take a lot of cards. There's a lot of good cards that can give you the reach. As soon as you get this one going, that's going to be really big. Okay guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, share with all your friends. That really helps the channel. Good gaming, guys.